Hello everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to make the Abbex dress pattern from CKC. It has color blocking side and a color blocking sleeves. It also comes with double skirt. It's a circle skirt. It's super fast to make and super easy. And the back is pretty simple and looks really good. Here are all our pieces. We have our lining, our back bodice. This is our back bodice. Our lining, we need 2 of them. Our side front piece, those are for the side. Those need to be cut mirrored, which means you need to cut them with the right side facing each other. If you did not cut mirrored, one of them will go the wrong way and will be upside down. Then we have our front piece. That's the center of our front piece, and the 2 side piece goes right on the side to make the front piece. Then I got some piping to put right in the middle of the seam to make the front piece pop out a little bit more. Then I am doing the color block for our sleeves. We need 2 of the center piece and we need 4 of our side piece. It will go like this with the long side piece and our 2 side, which need to also be cut mirrored. I'm doing the long sleeves. So you have the middle piece and the 2 side pieces. I have 2 of the middle piece and 4 of the side piece. Now we have the skirt. I'm doing the double skirt. This is the bottom, which is the longer one. And this is the top skirt, which is the shorter piece. And with this one, you have to cut it. Your pattern looks like this, which means this is a fold, this is also a fold, and this also fold. So you have this big white piece fold, then you fold them together, and you have a quarter of your circle skirt. And when you open it, it's a full circle skirt. And I have 2 pieces of that, the top and the bottom piece. First, we're going to attach our piping to the front middle piece of our bodice. We're going to clip the side together. And you're going to sew a long stitch right here at 1/8 seam allowance, and you're gonna do the same for the other side. Now we're going to take our side panel and we're going to sew it on the side of our front panel. Make sure the curved side, it's the one you sewed on, you pin to the side. Make sure your bodice is not stretching while you do that. We will do the same for the other side of our bodice. After we're done pinning our side, we're going to sew this up at a 3/8 inch allowance. And after we're done sewing it, we're gonna take it to the cover stitch and top stitch it. And now we're going to trim our piping. Here's what our front bodice should look like. Now I'm going to take my front bodice, lay it flat, and take my back bodice and lay it flat on top of my front bodice with the right side facing each other. Going to match shoulder seam and pin. Put that aside and take your lining and do the same thing for your lining. Right side facing you and the other back side on top of your front lining, and match the shoulder seam. We're going to take these two to the machine and sew the shoulder seam or 4 shoulder seam, the front bodice, and the lining at a 3/8 seam allowance. I'm just gonna do it on the serger. Now we're going to take our main bodice and lay it flat, and we'll take our lining and lay it on top of our main lining, of our main bodice and our lining, and we're going to match the shoulder seam. And I usually have one seam go one way and then the other way, so it's not bulky on the seam. And we're going to pin and do the same for the other side. Now we're going to pin all around the neckline. We're going to take it to the machine and sew all around the neckline at a 3/8 inch allowance all around. Now we're going to take our bodice and turn it inside in. After you're done with this, you can take your bodice and iron the neckline so it will stay still. Now we're going to take our arm piece and sew 1 straight stitch. Make sure it's the longest stitch in your machine so you'll be able to stretch without stretching your fabric. Now that we have it all pinned together, we're going to sew 1 straight stitch line all the way down, and we're going to repeat with the other side of our arm piece. Now that we have it just like that, this is what it should look like. Now we're going to set this aside and construct our sleeves. We're going to take our centerpiece sleeves and take one off our side, and we're going to pin them together with the longer side pin to your side, not the shorter one where the curve goes. So the longer side needs to be pinned to the side of your sleeves. And we're going to repeat the same thing we did with our front bodice. We're going to sew one long stitch at 3 allowance. Then we're gonna take it to our cover stitch and top stitch. Repeat with the other side. Try not to stretch your piece while you pin them together or sew them together, or your pieces will be all wiggly and curvy. Now take it to the machine and sew one straight stitch, 3/8 inch allowance. Now we're going to trim all the thread out of our shirt sleeves. Now we are ready to pin our sleeve to our bodice. We're going to take our bodice, right side facing you. This is the main fabric of your bodice. We're going to take our sleeves, find the center, which I already marked. You can either mark it or you can cut a tiny little triangle. We're going to find our mark, our little triangle, and match it with the center seam of our bodice. Make sure it is the right side of our bodice. Careful not to pin it to the lining. We're going to pin it right side facing each other. We're going to pin the center. Then we're going to take the side and the side of our sleeves and pin together. I usually pin the side just to hold it together. And now we're going to match the curved side of the bodice. We're going to take it to our machine and sew all around the curve of our sleeves at 3/8 inch allowance. Just sew one straight line all the way around. Make sure not to sew past side. This is the side of our sleeves, and you don't want to sew it right now. Just start with the side all the way to the other side. Repeat with your other sleeves. Now we're going to get ready to sew our side together. We're going to take our sleeves and fold it in half and pin our side. Make sure you match the seam in your sleeves and continue pinning the front bodice with the back. Now you have 4 pieces of fabric. Make sure you grab all 4 pieces and pin. Now we're going to sew a straight line. We're going to add a 3/8 inch allowance all the way from the sleeve to our bodice. And we're going to repeat this step with our other sleeves. Now we're going to take our bodice and turn it. And this is what you should have so far. And get ready to put our skirts together. Now we're going to take our bottom skirt and open it up. And take our top skirt and also open it up. And put it right on top of our bottom skirt and match the side. We are going to pin the circle, pin along the pin all the way around the circle. Make sure you match the edge and try not to stretch it. And now we're going to sew at 1/8 seam allowance all around our circle where we pin. Now we're going to take our bodice and turn it inside out. Now you take your skirt, you take the top of your skirt, you will slide your skirt inside your bodice. This is the bottom of your skirt and this is the top where they will meet, and there you will pin your skirt all around your bodice. Make sure you catch both lining piece of your pin all around. Again, make sure not to stretch your fabric, and make sure your main piece is flat. And if your fabric is stretched just a little bit, like if you have just a little bit gap, it's okay to stretch it just a little bit and make it fit. And now we're going to take it to the machine and sew all the way around at a 3/8 seam allowance. Now I'm going to take a fabric erase marker and measure 3/4 of an inch and do a line. And I'm going to do that on this side and the other side of my sleeves. Now I'm going to take some pin and I'm going to fold this where the line is and pin. Since I'm using my cover stitch, it's going to sew straight to this line, so I don't have to double fold. Repeat with your other sleeves and both of your skirts. Now you can take this to the machine and sew straight where this line is. And if you don't want to see this line, you can fold half, and you can fold it 1/4 inch and fold it again 1/2 inch. Now repeat with the other sleeves and both of your skirt. And since this is knit fabric, it's not going to fray or anything. So you can leave it raw edge like this if you wanted to. You can just sew a straight line if you don't have a cover stitch. Now that we are done with our dress, this is what it should look like. I also press the bottom of the hem so it can lay flat. This is our front of the dress. Look how adorable. And I absolutely love this color block. And this is our dress. It's all done. I hope you make one, and if you do make one and post it on social media, please tag me at Virales Vinton Design on Instagram and TikTok. And also please follow, subscribe, share, and like this video if you like it, and let me know which other pattern you would like to see.